and then he stole more than $50,000 from the County of Ulster, and that amount actually totaled over $79,000. The indictment also charges Timothy Matthews with 1 count of grand larceny in the 3rd degree, alleging that he stole more than $3,000 from Ulster Savings Bank, and with 1 count of falsifying business records in the 1st degree, also pertaining to Ulster Savings Bank. This case broke in January of this year when the Office of the State Comptroller was conducting an audit of the Kingston City School District. Preliminary findings indicated irregularities in the payment records submitted by then Detective Lieutenant Matthews. Eventually, the State Comptroller determined that Matthews had been paid $1,425 for time he did not work at the school district. As a result of that initial finding, Matthews was suspended. On January 19, 2011, the Kingston Police Department Monetary Evidence Vault, over which Timothy Matthews had sole control, was drilled open and its contents inventoried by the City of Kingston Comptroller, the City of Kingston Police Chief and Deputy Chief, and my office's senior investigator. Thousands of dollars that should have been in the vault were missing. Upon that discovery, I directed that Timothy Matthews be arrested and charged with grand larceny in the 3rd degree. Based upon the findings of the State Comptroller and the money missing from the vault, my office began an investigation. We looked into the procedures concerning the handling of money, whether that be seizure sums, evidence, or working capital by Kingston's Detective Division. Since Matthews was also a member of the Urgent Task Force, we included in our investigation their procedures. Our investigation included interviews with Chief Keller and Sheriff Van Blarkham, as well as many of the Kingston Police Department detectives and members of the Urgent Task Force. To assist us in our investigation, we employed the services of a forensic accounting firm. We were assisted in our investigation by the Mayor's Office, the City Comptroller, and the New York State Tax and Finance Department. We learned that in addition to Matthews' security employment at Kingston High School, for the period of approximately 1 year, he had been employed as security for foreclosed property held by the Ulster Savings Bank, and we included in our investigation the possibility that Matthews defrauded that employer. As our investigation continued and widened, it became apparent that the criminal activities of Mr. Matthews were of greater magnitude and scope than they were thought to be at the onset of the investigation. The indictment handed up this morning reflects that. Our investigation has failed to reveal that any other individual was complicit in these steps. Following the commencement of my office's investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation began its own investigation. My office has cooperated fully with the federal investigation. We have shared access to the evidence that we have collected, as well as access to our accountant's findings. Any questions concerning the federal investigation should be addressed to the United States Attorney's Office in Albany. I'll take your questions.
When is Mr. Matthews going to be arraigned as for events?
I expect that he'll be arraigned later this week.
Will your office be requesting that bail be set this week?
Yes, we will. Yes, ma'am.
Can you just go over a list of the charges?
Yes. The first county indictment is grand larceny in the 2nd degree, wherein it is alleged that Timothy Matthews, from a period of January 1st, 2001 through February 3rd, 2011, stole over $50,000 from the City of Kingston. The second count of the indictment charges Mr. Matthews with tampering with public records in the 1st degree. The third count in the indictment charges Mr. Matthews with falsifying business records in the 1st degree. The fourth count of the indictment charges Mr. Matthews with scheme to defraud in the 1st degree. The fifth count of the indictment charges Mr. Matthews with defrauding the government. All of those counts relate to his activities with regard to the city of Kingston. The sixth count of the indictment charges Mr. Matthews with grand larceny in the second degree for having stolen from March 1st, 2007 through December 31st, 2010, over $50,000. That count relates to his activity with the Urgent Task Force, and the victim in that case is the County of Ulster. The seventh count charges him with tampering with public records in the first degree. The eighth count with falsifying business records in the first degree. The ninth count with scheme to defraud in the first degree. And the 10th count with defrauding the government. Those counts all relate to his activities with regard to the Urgent Task Force, and the victim of those cases was the County of Ulster.